Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard.
Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today, we have someone who is doing a lot of exciting things. We've had this person on 3 times before. So welcome to the podcast again, Kyle.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on here, talking to you and talking about this stuff.
Yes.
It's important.
Yes, indeed. For some people, they may be catching us for the first time, so kindly give us an introduction to yourself.
Oh, yeah. I can give you a little bit. My name is Kiel Corkran. So, I currently live in Kansas City, Kansas. But in the meantime, I'm pretty civically minded. So, I got running for insurance commissioner. I'm working at ranked choice voting. I'm working at the Kansas City Green Party on both sides of the state. So, Missouri and Kansas. And then I'm trying to go back to school next fall for a STEM degree. I have a STEM degree. Trying to get another one.
Wow, that's awesome. So kindly tell our audience what the topic for today.
We want to talk about ranked choice voting today, and it's of importance for Missouri to help make elections a little more fair for everybody.
Sure. And what organizations are advancing ranked choice voting in your area?
There's Missouri for Ranked Choice Voting is kind of the big statewide organization and kind of organizing the effect to get it passed in Missouri. And you have Bet About KC, which is kind of an offshoot of that group, but they're kind of working on getting a petition going to have it on the ballot in Kansas City, Missouri for August of this year. With the Missourians, they want a statewide ballot in 2024.
Statewide ballot, wow.
Yeah. First, it's the idea that we can get the success in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a good indicator of what the rest of the state will look like.
Kindly tell our audience, what is RCV voting? There are a lot of people who know what it is. There may be some people who don't. So kindly explain that to anybody who is new to RCV.
Well, I can give you a general RCV that stands for ranked choice voting. So the idea is you put preferences to a candidate. So you have 5 candidates, you rank your number 1 choice, second, third, fourth, fifth. So the idea is that your candidate's always going to get, your vote's always going to count for something. So maybe, your first person is going on the ballot, so it just goes to the next person. That person, then it goes to the next, and then to eventually the person you pick. But it's going to go pick the first one first, and then descend on the order. So it's a way to keep people's votes impactful, even if they initially pick someone just to get on the primary, or they can just go to the next guy. They rate instead of 1 vote, and your guy doesn't get it. Well, then your vote doesn't matter. But this is a way for your vote to matter. Those are your options.
So what would you say are the benefits of RCV voting?
I think it's more impactful in terms of making a voter feel like their vote is more engaged with the election rather than just, well, my guy didn't get it, so my vote doesn't matter. That won't, and it also allows third parties to have an easier chance of getting on the ballot and more votes than the current thing. Plus, it's just more democratic. It's just a more fair way to count someone's vote than what we have now.
Sure.
A lot of people want to feel like when they're voting, it means something, and it's heard.
Sure. So what objections do people have for it? What objections do people present to you, and how would you counter those objections?
Well, I see a lot of times, we had one recently where they wanted to do, they wanted regular voting for a primary election and then like ranked choice voting for after like a general election, which doesn't really work very well because you can't have it both ways. You can't have like regular voting and then ranked choice voting.
So you believe you have to have ranked choice voting for both the primary and the general election. You can't mix and match.
Yeah, that's kind of what they wanted, but you can't mix it. You need it both. The idea is ranking people. I mean, if you're just picking one person in a primary, it's supposed to give more access to more candidates, not just pigeonhole the two parties that's going already. And then we could do ranked choice voting. It's just not very. It's just a way to keep the system intact.
Wait, I see.
While trying to still we're being progressive. We had a person named Larry Bradley. He wrote opposition to it in the Star in the opinion section. If you look through like that, you should be able to find more about it.
Who wrote the opposition to it?
It was Larry Bradley.
Larry Bradley.
Yeah.
Kindly tell her. I'm sorry. Who is Larry Bradley?
He's another member of RCV, and then he works with Better Battle KC.
Okay.
Yeah. Better Battle KC is kind of the petition gathering section here in Kansas City.
Okay.
So they're trying to get on the ballot for the city of Kansas City, Missouri. But you need enough voters registered in the city to do that. So
okay.
Larry and there's a lady named Rachel. They kind of headed up. Or myself, I do a lot. I'm a team lead for the outreach for the KC section.
Okay.
Because we have different teams for Missouri. So there's outreach, and then there's communications, which is social media, and then kind of official responses, and then you got volunteer onboarding, which is people who want to volunteer, they can meet that team, and they get to meet people, and they get to figure out where they want to be, that kind of thing.
So for your outreach position, what are your main responsibilities?
Well, we want to engage with as many people as we can and spread RCB at the same time in hopes to grow our contact list. We want to get as much contact as we can so we can just keep sending out messages about RCB. So right now I think we're working on some college stuff. We're trying to get some colleges engaged with that's been a problem just because of COVID. They're not doing as much student activity fairs as they would normally do. So we're trying to look for if we can do speaking events in a class. We have happy hours down at the Well in KC, and then the St. Louis location changes. So then if everybody wants to come to that, we want to welcome. And then we're going to contact different orgs around Kansas City and St. Louis if they want to work with us.
Campuses too, you said?
Yeah.
So has this been implemented anywhere in Missouri or Kansas?
Not anywhere in Missouri and Kansas. Yeah.
How about elsewhere? That gives a good model for your area and other areas looking into it.
Hey, if you go Eastern United States, it's more successful.
So on the east side of the country?
Yeah. So
okay.
Maybe in Maryland, because Missouri and Rick is part of a national group for ranked choice voting.
Okay.
Because it is a nationwide thing where there are lots of people across America trying to get it passed. Like Alaska uses it, Maine, they use it for the federal elections. Some areas of like Minnesota and Maryland. It's weird. It seems more successful on like eastern or like more remote locations, but not as you get closer to like Central America.
Huh.
It's
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why do you think that would be?
Oh, I think there's like East Coast and like Alaska. I think they're just more open to new ideas, and then
Okay.
Missouri and Kansas are traditionally red states for a long time, and then so they're probably a little more conservative about how they want to do their elections. Because it doesn't always make like sense. Like I know here in Kansas we had a Republican governor for a long time named Brownback, who wasn't very nice. And now we have a Democratic governor, but the House and Senate are still Republican controlled. And Missouri is a pretty red state too.
So how do the Democrats in your area respond to the RCV voting? Do they like it, or do they view it as a threat? How do they view it?
I talked to, they seem kind of just indifferent about it. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like, because I've done a little bit of petitioning, and then I've talked to some people on the streets, and they're like, either they're indifferent about it, or they're like, yeah. I think part of it, probably they hear it and they go, I don't understand that it's just a new way to vote. And then when they hear it, I said, well, it's different, so I don't like it. No, I don't understand it.
Huh. So they want to go with what they know rather than shake it up with something new.
Yeah, I think that, it's more, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. You know.
Huh.
But I have met people who are really into it.
That's good.
So, yeah. I mean, if you don't like the two-party system, I think you're more inclined to like ranked choice voting. Just because it's.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think just because ranked choice voting is a new way to do, it could help potentially break the two-party system.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Yeah. For sure.
So is the way you want to implement that by both the city and the state? Do both those strategies to get cities to implement it and also statewide? Is that how you want to do it?
Well, yeah. Like the big goal for the Missourians is to do the statewide ballot, but then just kind of test it out on Missouri, on Kansas City, and potentially St. Louis, and maybe get some chapters going in like Southwest Missouri.
Okay.
After we get like Casey taken care of, just because like Casey and like St. Louis are pretty good indicators of how the rest of the state will, just because of how big the cities are.
Okay, so those places would be test cases and models for the rest.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. And then eventually you start like, we have been talking about Southwest Missouri eventually, once we figure it's like, we get this down KC is the next step. Like Joplin or like St. Joseph.
I've heard some people talk about with RCV in regard to election security issues. So if you want to address that, how would you assure security for elections, that everything is fair in elections while doing RCV?
Good question, yeah. Because, you do want your elections to be fair. I mean, you would use the same way to address security now. You would make sure it's secure when the votes are cast, making sure people aren't voting twice. It wouldn't be much different from what we do now.
Okay.
I mean,
So
you're just ranking people, so you're still making a vote once. It's still one vote.
okay. So that wouldn't change how you would assure the integrity of elections.
Yeah. I mean, you would still make sure they watch for fraud, make sure only person's voting once. But I don't think it would change that different.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. You might be more aware of making sure people aren't double voting but other than that, I mean, it's still one vote. You're just ranking people. So like 5 votes for 5 different people.
Okay, so it wouldn't change that. That's good.
Yeah. Yes. Like you vote once, and then it's ranked, so then your vote just changes depending on your rank.
So I've heard people talk about needing different software. So imagine if you were able to convince a locality, one of those you mentioned, to adopt ranked choice voting, and they were saying, how are we going to implement this? How would you guide them to where to go to get the software or other systems in place to make it go?
Well, I mean, I would be first if you're started. It's a good idea to contact like the national ranked choice voting organization, so you can get help from them. And usually, you want to start a group. So, and then at a state level, and then you want to focus on like a local plan.
Okay.
Like you don't want to you want to start like top down and build. Well, get your state, and then get your local, and then figure out where you want to go. You get your teams in place, with your leagues, get your volunteers set up, get a petition group going, like the Better About JC that we have. A lot of it is just strategy. Where do you want to start? How are you going to do it?
So what would you do if a city were thinking about doing that and they contacted you and they were saying, how do we get this ranked choice voting started? How do we change the ballots? What software do we need? What would you tell them?
I think it was the same software. I'm not sure.
Okay, it might be the same software?
Yeah, I mean, all voting stuff uses the same stuff, I assume. We would just have to change the parameters. Instead of it asking, pick this one vote, you would just change it or just ranks it.
Okay.
It's like a software change, like a programming.
Okay.
So I think a lot of this, we could you keep what you have in place for regular elections and just change it to match the needs of RCV.
They might like that because then that would be less hassle for them.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you still use the same machines, you just gotta reconfigure how they set up they process the vote. So yeah. Yeah. I don't think it'll be too bad.
Interesting. So I trust that you're optimistic because you seem like the type of person who would be optimistic. So tell me if you are optimistic about implementing RCV in the future.
I think we are. I think right now we're just growing and we're trying to add volunteers to our team and just get people out there. But I think over time it will happen. They just got to keep working on it. I mean, there's going to be people around this week who are frustrated by the two-party system, and they want something different. I just think that's going to keep growing. And then they're like, oh, yeah, RCV sounds like a good bet. Let's get involved with that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of time, you think?
I think, yeah. the more people hear about it, I mean, the more we grow, we'll get there eventually.
Excellent.
I like that. All right, like it's not like it's just a passing thing.
So how can our audience out there support your organization? You said it's Missourians for RCV, and then there's a Kansas.
There's a Better Ballot KC. So there's Missourians for ranked choice voting, which is like the state organization who's trying to get it passed in Missouri. So they have a website and also a Facebook. And on the website they can have like a link to volunteer or sign up for meetings. So there's a statewide meeting they put on every month. There's updates in terms of what's going on with our teams and where we're at in terms of like Kansas City and St. Louis. And the Better About KC is a Facebook group. So that if you just want to get directly involved with petitioning, you can like join that, and they usually have a list of events around Kansas City or St. Louis, and you can just pick one.
Okay.
And you sign up, and then you go out there. Usually that way, it's all visible for people, so everybody knows who's going to a certain event. You can hook up with people in the group, or go by yourself. And then also it's where you can get the petition form too. You can talk to Rachel, and she should give it to you. Or you can go to Missouri. Missouri is also part of the petition form on that website.
All right, good. Couple options to have.
Yeah. If you want to get better vacancy, if you want directly involved, like Facebook, where you're not sure, you can come to a statewide meeting with the Missourians, you get an update. That's also a Facebook page too, so with events. So yeah, we try to post everything on the Missourians for events. People can know what's going on. Also, happy hours too.
Happy hours, okay.
Yeah, every month, usually the week after the statewide. Come drink, or come chill, or come eat some food, talk about RCV, or talk about political stuff, or get to know somebody.
You said the place is called The Well?
Yeah, The Well down, it's in Westport, like Westport Pizza in Kansas City. And then St. Louis changes. That's going to be on the website. That's going to be on Facebook for the St. Louis location.
Okay. So
all this is going to be in that page.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
All this is going to be in that event page.
Okay, so go on the event page and they can get the latest info.
Yeah, on there. Missourians for Ranked Choice Facebook page. Yeah,
okay, that's probably the best way to do that.
Yeah, we try to make it all make it visible and easy to access for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, so anybody who's interested, they can go there.
Yeah, they can go and come to statewide. Statewide meetings are also Zoom meetings, so if you just want to Zoom, pop in and get on Zoom. It's not a physical meeting, so.
Well, that's another good option.
Yeah, if you just want to learn more about what's going on or meet people.
Sure.
Meet some of our executives or board members.
Sure.
Our leads, yeah. Our leads for different teams.
I hope a lot of people get involved in this good stuff that you got going here, so I hope the meetings have a lot of people coming to them.
They're pretty steady. We're always looking for more volunteers. You're never going to turn down any. If everyone wants to help, we're never going to turn it down. We're always looking for more help.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Could be anything. Could be just want to look at events, for outreach and be like, this seems like a good place to have a table out. That's also something we could use. Or you want to contact organizations? That's good. We have the email templates for you. So we can use that too.
All right. Sounds good. So Kyle, thank you kindly for coming on the program once again and sharing the exciting things that these organizations are doing to advance RCV voting in your area and also in the nation at large.
No problem. Always glad to come on the show and talk about it. It's been really fun. About 4 times.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right, Kyle. All the best to you and those organizations. May you keep doing good things and keep advancing RCV.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, we'll do our best. And you guys, good luck with everything that's going on over there. And everybody's listening. Have a good day.
Yes. All right. Take care.
Take care.